We're gonna now install the vacuum valve bracket. This is this thing here. So it's like an L-shaped thing. So I want to install that right away, so I'm going to be able to use the clips and set the wiring the proper way. So the way to set that thing in place, you use these bolts. There's 4 of them. They are steel bolt and it's E-Torx. So this is screwed on the side of the engine. So that's what I'm up to now. The tool I'm gonna use is again one wrench with an adapter for the E-socket. So this pin here on top of the vacuum accumulator actuator on the turbo, this is the front turbo. This is where we need to hook up these hose here. Okay, so it's a bit crowded. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to go hook up that thing there, but there's no choice. We have to. It's the accumulator, the actuator is got like, it's like a hockey puck, and there's a smaller diameter on the tip of it. The pin is on the tip of that thing here. Okay, so this diameter here on the tip of the actuator, the pin is on top right here. So the vacuum hose that need to be connected are the one like this, not these one like this, the one with the kind of a clothing on top of it. So the way this thing works, it's obvious. The actuator here is from the front, the vacuum valve here. This hose is for the front turbo, and this one here is for the rear turbo. The rear turbo, obviously, we're gonna have to go underneath the car to hook up that thing. Okay, so I was able to connect these hoses. So this hose here, right? This one here, the vacuum hose. In order to connect it, I needed to put one hand over here, the other hand over here, and pinch the vacuum hose with 2 fingers, somewhat like that, and try to push it down. The other one on the back, I was able to slide my hand here by the top, just feel it where it was, again with this little puck that I showed earlier, on which the tip is installed. So now the time is to install the two wire here. I want to set them around, so I gotta go around. There's some clips here like that, so I'm gonna slide them in that clip right there on top of the vacuum hose. So I'm gonna be able to go all around. There's 2 clips, and on the back of the engine there's also something in between the firewall and the engine, so they have to come all the way around and up to here, and they're gonna clip here. So that's what I'm up to now. So I forgot to in fact I forgot, but I thought I could do it afterward. But these clips, this one and this one here, which is the same, you need to install them prior to install these hoses, otherwise you're not going to be able. So I had to remove one hose, both sides, the 2 nuts, this fuel line. Also I had to loosen up the 4 bolts that hold the rail a bit. So there's 4, the other one is here, and the other one on the far end here. So I had to remove one, so I was able to clip it first, the side of the nut, then play with this thing. There's a round tab also that goes with it, that's why you need to make some room, and then clip it there. So first clip, well, I did it another time before, but when I undo it this time, this clip was here, then you skip one, and then the other clip was here. So this is now installed, so I retighten the hose. So this fuel line, also this one, retighten this thing here. So the way it works is, when you look at the wiring for the oxygen sensor, one is shorter than the other one. So what you do is you're gonna have to clip this thing, but first you want to plug it. So this thing here is the two connectors that goes along inside of it. They start here on the corner of that block. So the shorter one obviously is going to connect with this one here, then the other one there. So what you want to do is you want to plug this thing, and then you want to slide it in. In place like that. Once it's clipped, this thing is gonna clip underneath the intake manifold. So you do that for the two of them. Then you want to pick up the loose here, right? And this thing goes on the back of the engine. If you look, you can see here there's like a tab, right? This is like a space where you can just push the wiring in there. It's just holding it in place, so you can pull it up just to see. So there's one here. The second one is if you would pass your hand, you would feel it. It's about here. Hard to see, but about here. So anyways, it's exactly the same as this one. So once you have the wiring, so the best way to do that is you do it here first, right? Then you just pick up the loose. That would give you a bit of loose here when you got on that hand. Now it's a bit tight, but it's gonna get a bit looser. And just by the length of the wiring, this is how you get them right, because they're the same connector. So this is it. So now I'm hooking up the oxygen sensor wiring. So I'm gonna do the second one, pick up the loose. That's it. So this is now hooked up. The wiring goes aside. When you got clips like that, you should put your wiring in there. I got a few broken ones. So then on the back, as I said, you go into these pin kind of thing, as you can see here, this here. Then there's a second one on the back. Then you go, so the wiring has to go underneath these things here, these three here. Then on the back it goes underneath these two. And there's clips. There's one here, there's another one further back. As you can see, I got the vacuum hose that is right here, that goes underneath these two. So the three of them are hooked up in these three clips. The vacuum hose here and the two oxygen sensor wiring are hooked up in the two clips. And then it's going right here aside with a bit of loose. So that's what it is for that wiring. Also here, as for now, I passed it under this oil pressure switch sensor. But if ever it's wrong, I just have to unplug this thing and swap it underneath it. So now it's time to set that plastic track here. There's two aluminum bolts, one here, one here. They go on the cylinder head cover valve. I never like torque crazy mine, so I never replace these bolts. I just barely tied them up. The idea is just for this thing to hold. You don't need to, even if it's gonna become loose while you drive, it's not gonna be a big problem. So you just kind of give it a bit. So you do that for both of them. Then you hook up the vacuum valves connector. Cannot go wrong. One's a bit longer than the other, and they're each to the right side of which valve they have to be connected to. So I should have, yeah, I have two. No, that's these two here. There should be. Okay. This is the two ones that are coming to go to the vacuum accumulator that's going to be sitting here. So I'm just going to torque the other one, and this is done. Hook up these little grounds. There's three of them. There are nuts like that. Don't drop the nut. Okay, so these are just to be tightened, nothing crazy. Just with one handle with a. It's 8mm. Okay, and also you have to hook up all the fuel injector connector. So each of them, they got their own. So you do that all across the line for each of those. As I said, 3 grounds and 6 connectors like that. You just go in line so you don't skip one, and you'll be fine. Okay, so now we're gonna hook up this wire that comes from here. We're gonna clip it here on the side along with the other ones, right? Then this now we're gonna hook up this wire here. We're gonna clip it along with the other one here on this bracket. So this thing here, the way it works, the first one here goes for the cam sensor on the exhaust side. It's a bit hard to see, but this is this black thing here. The second one, you can see that this one's got to be here, it cannot go here. It's going to be too difficult. So this one's going to be for the Vanos up above. Sorry about that. The second one here is for the lower Vanos. This is the one coming from here for the second Vanos. This one's going to be for the coolant sensor. So this one should go here. Like that. So then the cam sensor. Here, and then the other cam sensor is right here with this connector here. So this is done. Yeah, this is all hooked up. So all the electrical on the exhaust side is now hooked up. The only thing remaining is going to be the this is the sensor for the coolant in the coolant tank, and there's these 4 vacuum hoses to be hooked up.